when the reveal happened, I said, oh no, and a pack win. Chase Lehockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing The Watchers. If you don't understand that reference I said in the beginning, I'll help you a little bit more. True Blood. Anyway, what is this about? Pretty simple premise. You have Eli Fanning walking in the woods, but all of a sudden, disjointed happens. They don't know what's going on, and there's this little shelter area, and if he doesn't get in there in 5 freaking seconds, these weird-ass creatures are going to be after her. And now there's 4 of them in there, and some of them have been stuck there for 8 months, for 5 months, for multiple years. But now, the Watchers, do they want in? Who made this building? Who is these Watchers? Okay, let's just stop. Okay. This movie did not work for me. I don't know. It felt like the reverse The Village, which is kind of interesting because this is directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. And M. Night Shyamalan also has a movie coming out called Trap, and they're both by WB, so I think there is a deal. That's all I'm going to say right there. But I don't know. This movie just was odd. So talk about the pauses. Do the quick pauses real quick. I do think the acting's fine. Some of it was a little forced or awkward, though. The atmosphere was pretty good. I did like the forest setting, where it's like, oh yeah, cool. But yeah, other than that, it went downhill pretty quick just with how the third act was, how it was leading up to the second act, because the third act was a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. I know some people said it was really abrupt, but I didn't know it was going to keep going and going and going. I just think overall it was the story. I don't know, maybe because coming from the book to the movies and how it was, correlated, translated. I don't know what word you want to say. Doesn't work. And what these creatures are, I just want to laugh when I figure out what they were. I'm sorry, I laughed. But this is a hard one to review because there's just so much that doesn't make sense that I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to have to spoil it because there's so much shit to talk about. Okay, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Eli Fanning, her whole gig, if you want to put it that way, is she was a brat when she was young. Sure, an accident happened, and she blames herself 15 years later. Why she's in Ireland, don't know. She says she's a dancer. That's not true because she dresses up. So maybe she's one of those people that wants to change her identity because she doesn't like who she is as a person. Sure, got it. But now she has to take this bird somewhere. Okay, why is this bird going that way? Fine, whatever. Why is the GPS taking it that route? If you're taking a bird to a zoo, right? If you're taking a bird to a zoo, the GPS shouldn't take you through this weird-ass forest. Fine, whatever. All right, then if you noticed, where her car stops, there is literally no road. There is no way that car could even be at that location. I'm a sucker for that. I saw this with Madam Web, where the whole semi goes through that ambulance. Where the fuck is that semi going? Because there's nowhere for that semi to go. Same here. The car is literally in a spot that makes no goddamn sense. There's no road whatsoever. A smart person would stop at a point and be like, these are pretty big potholes. These are pretty big routes I'm driving over. There's no tire tracks whatsoever. Why am I keep going? Sure, fine, whatsoever. All right. And then you have these weird things in the forest that say like 108, don't pass 143, etc. Who made them? Why they make them? It doesn't really explain that. They're saying, oh, these creatures did. But they're so abnormally there, it doesn't make sense. Also, there's like rules. You can't be out there at night. You can't go in these burrows and other things, right? It doesn't really explain why, if you take things from these burrows, why these watchers get pissed off. And you're just like, explanations, please. Well, finally, something happens. And listen, okay, if you're stuck in this box at night for umpteen months, you're not going to try to, like, move shit around to see what is in this fucking box. Apparently not. Anyway, something happens. Stuff finally gets moved around, and they're like, wait a minute! And so they figure out something out where someone was trying to do experiments. Okay, interesting. However, it talks about how this thing was made. There's no way 13 people made this. Okay, they're just like, this is something where a shit ton of concrete, a shit ton of vehicles, dump trucks, the logistics of it doesn't make sense. I also made fun of this when it was like they cloned Tyrone. It makes no goddamn sense where no one noticed these big ass things underneath the ground. Sure, this is the same way where you're just like, it's so conveniently placed that this guy went so far in the forest to make this, it logistically makes no sense. You would, at least if you didn't know what the hell you're doing, you put on the edge to do these experiments or try to catch a walker. Which also, how did he catch the walker? No goddamn clue. It doesn't explain it because it's like, there's no rhyme or reason for that walker to get caught. Like, okay, sure. So many plot holes in this. It is baffling. Why the power is still on? No fucking clue. It's just one thing after another where you're just like, how and why? And then it's just so perfect that when the ending does happen with a boat. Okay. One character does something so stupid. Sure, why not? There's just so many things that are just, when you think about it, just for the simpleness of like, how is that working? How is that working? How is that working? Makes no sense. All right, then something happens at the professor's office, which, by the way, there's no way the university would keep the office like that to raise funds. When a teacher goes missing, they would be like, we need this office for a new teacher to take over the department? Stuff like that. All right, of course, a twist comes. To me, it's not a twist. It's like a double twist. It's like, oh my God, what they are and what one of them are. You're just like, nah, that's not a twist for me. But I don't know. Because you would just expect, if these creatures know, and now it makes even less sense, because they're saying there's two creatures. One of them are one, and one of them are the hybrids. There's got to be more of one of them than the others. It just makes more sense, because if this whole mythology of what happened in the past, and I just want to know now, how are they doing it also? Okay. Listen, I don't know what the book's about. This movie is just a mess. It is convoluted. It tries to do something interesting with the atmosphere, but like I said, when the twist comes and you realize what is happening in the woods, it crumbles freaking hard. So the watchers will receive a 1.5 out of 5 of Futon, which is at 30%. I'm being generous with this one, just because it is a first time directing with good shots. There are some good shots, good atmospheric moments, but I don't know if this is the right source material to make into a movie. Critics, user scores, let's see. 29 critics, 56 audience, 103, 100. So this does make me think if I screwed up my box office predictions. Anyway, critic consensus. Heavy on eerie mood, but undone by an obtuse script. The watchers can only hold the gaze for so long before tedium sets in. What the fuck is tedium? I'm an idiot. Whoa, that's not how you spell it. Tedium. What does tedium mean? State of being tedious. Just say you're tedious. God. Anyway, yeah. What do we got? We got my 30. We got the 29, and we got the 56. Chase Leak here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of things, Bhutontopia. You Blue Futon, take watch a great day. I'm going to take tomorrow, week, from a month, or a year from every single freaking one of you. Yeah. 3. I'm a fucking fairy?